Ukrainian troops have reportedly crossed the border into Russia's Belgorod region. This bold move has sparked heavy fighting between Ukrainian and Russian forces. The incursion comes after Ukraine's capture of territory in Russia's Kursk region last year. The situation in Kursk remains fluid, with both sides claiming victories. However, the Ukrainian advance into Belgorod marks a significant escalation in the conflict. The fighting in Belgorod is said to be intense. Russian military bloggers, citing sources on the ground, describe fierce clashes in towns like Popovka and Demidovka. They report that Russian forces are currently engaged in defensive operations. Ukrainian forces, they say, are utilizing drone strikes to target Russian positions. Some reports even suggest that Ukrainian soldiers may be encircled in certain areas. The situation is developing rapidly, and information remains limited. The fog of war makes it difficult to verify claims from either side. However, the reports of heavy fighting and Ukrainian advances suggest a significant military operation is underway. The Ukrainian incursion into Belgorod represents a daring strategic gamble. It is a clear signal from Kiev that it is willing to take the fight to Russian soil. The operation's ultimate goals remain unclear. However, it has already succeeded in diverting Russian resources and attention away from other areas of the front. The Ukrainian government has not officially confirmed the incursion into Belgorod. President Zelensky has acknowledged Ukrainian actions a little below the Kursk region, but he has refrained from providing specifics. An official from Ukraine's National Defense and Security Council hinted at possible Ukrainian actions in Belgorod to neutralize threats. However, Kiev remains tight-lipped about the details of the operation. Similarly, Moscow has not officially confirmed the Ukrainian incursion. Russia's defense ministry previously claimed to have thwarted Ukrainian border-crossing attempts in Belgorod. This statement came 10 days before the current reports of the incursion. The lack of official confirmation from both sides adds to the confusion surrounding the situation. In the absence of official information, military bloggers and open-source intelligence have become crucial sources of information. Russian military bloggers, in particular, have provided detailed accounts of the fighting in Belgorod. These accounts, often based on information from sources within the Russian military, offer valuable insights into the situation on the ground. However, it is important to note that these reports can be biased and should be treated with caution. The lack of official confirmation and the reliance on unofficial sources highlight the challenges of reporting on the conflict. The fog of war makes it difficult to obtain accurate and timely information. It also underscores the importance of critical thinking and source evaluation when navigating the information landscape. The situation in Kursk, where Ukraine made significant territorial gains last year, adds another layer of complexity. Recent reports suggest that Russia may be gaining the upper hand in the region. Russian forces claim to have recaptured the village of Gogolevka, while Ukrainian sources maintain they still control parts of the village and a small area within Kursk. The situation remains fluid, with both sides engaged in a back-and-forth struggle for control. Adding to the intrigue is Russian President Vladimir Putin's recent visit to Kursk. This visit, his first since the start of the war, is widely seen as a show of confidence in the Russian military's ability to regain full control of the region. Putin's presence is also intended to boost the morale of Russian troops and send a message of defiance to Ukraine and its Western backers. The timing of the Belgorod incursion, coinciding with reports of Russian advances in Kursk, raises questions about Ukraine's strategic objectives. Some analysts suggest that the Belgorod operation is a diversionary tactic. By drawing Russian forces away from Kursk, Ukraine may be attempting to relieve pressure on its positions there and slow down the Russian advance. Others argue that the Belgorod incursion is part of a broader Ukrainian strategy to take the initiative and force Russia into a defensive posture. By demonstrating its ability to strike behind enemy lines, Ukraine aims to undermine Russian morale, disrupt its logistics, and sow chaos in its ranks. The effectiveness of this strategy remains to be seen. Military analysts offer differing assessments of the Belgorod operation's strategic significance. Some believe it is unlikely to yield a significant breakthrough. They argue that while Ukrainian forces may have penetrated initial Russian defenses, they are unlikely to threaten major logistical routes or cities. From this perspective, the operation is a tactical move with limited strategic impact. Others see the Belgorod incursion as a potentially significant development. They argue that it could have a psychological impact on both sides. For Ukraine, It demonstrates its ability to take the fight to Russia, and could boost morale. For Russia, it exposes the vulnerability of its border regions, and could force it to divert resources from other areas. The Belgorod operation and the evolving situation in Kursk have significant implications for the future trajectory of the conflict. The Ukrainian incursion into Russia proper represents a dangerous escalation. It remains to be seen how Russia will respond. Moscow might escalate its own military operations. Alternatively, it could seek to de-escalate the situation through diplomatic channels. The coming days and weeks will be crucial in determining the outcome of these operations and their impact on the broader conflict. One thing is certain, the war in Ukraine has entered a new and unpredictable phase.